We'll chant the invocation mantra from Krishna Yajurveda, Kathopanishad mantra. It's the meaning of this one. We will chant this mantra on the International Day of Yoga. Next week we'll chant that one. It's the meaning of that one, that may the Supreme enter into me. With that, may he protect all of us. With this protection, when he entered, may we do the great things in our life, and may we bring glory to our ancestors, glory to the country, glory to the family members, glory to the next generation. At the same time, may we not fight against each other, may we not hate each other, may we live in harmony. It's an International Day of Yoga also. It's a yoga for peace and harmony. It conveys that one. Repeat after me. Om Sahana Vavatu. Sahano Bhunaktu. Sahaviryam Karavavahai. Tejasvinavadhitamastu. Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shubhodaya. Good morning all. And we have been covering different shades of yoga. And Bhagavad Gita is not only the authoritative text of yoga, it's an authoritative text it's a synthesis of all Indian scriptures. It's a synopsis of all the scriptures are contained in Bhagavad Gita. It is not only for the yoga, all the summary of all the scriptures is contained in Bhagavad Gita. And Bhagavad Gita, that Gandhiji is used to say that whenever he was under confusion or distress or in the great sorrow, he used to flick through the pages of Bhagavad Gita to find solace. Every time, if you read the same shloka or different shloka, you discover new meaning, new dimensions. That's why commentaries after commentaries have come. As you go deeper into deeper, that more meaning reveals out, more dimensions opens out. It's an inexhaustible wealth. That's why it's called as it's a synthesis of Mahabharata. Mahabharata is called as the summary of all the scriptures contained in Mahabharata, and condensed pill of Mahabharata is contained in Vishnu Sahasranama and Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita has 700 shlokas, and even Gandhiji was saying that it brought him a lot of solace, and whenever he was in distress, he used to flick through the pages of Bhagavad Gita. And we have covered some dimensions of Karma Yoga, and we are touching on Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga, many people say Bhakti Yoga means just believing in God, that not just a belief. And Bhakti is a two dimension. One is Muda Bhakti, one is with knowledge. One is a blind belief, and one is a belief with knowledge. That is what it is called as Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga, it's not for the sake of believing. It's with understanding, with conviction. If you have to believe that one. And that means that when you have the understanding, jnana, that bhakti deepens. Without knowledge, bhakti is only a blind bhakti, and it takes us nowhere. And the same thing that today we will cover that one. That last week we covered there are 4 types of devotees are there. One is devotee, Chaturvida Bhajante. Repeat after me. Last week we covered this one. Chaturvida Bhajante Mam. Jana Sukritino Arjuna. Artho Jijnasu Artharthi. Jnani Cha Bharatarshaba. That we approach, that people approach, 4 categories of people approach the higher this divine being, that approach the Supreme, do the devotion. 4 categories. One person is disgusted with the life, disgusted with the family, disgusted with the work, disgusted with the social circumstances. He approaches the higher. That as soon as that he finds comfort back, he forgets about the God. That is the artho. Jijnasu is a curiosity. One who is curious. I want to know more about that one. After trying for 1 month or 1 year, if he or she doesn't find any result, he will give up. It's a half-hearted approach. Jijnasu, artharthi, wanting money, that I want my good job, good education, my children to get married well, my children to study well, my husband to be well, wife to be well, I want more property. It's as soon as that you get all the wealth, you forget about that one. Then it's a half-hearted again. Artho jijnaso artharthi. The fourth one is a jnani. Jnani is the one who aspires nothing, as out of it's a he or she has a full conviction. It's a never ask for anything. He or she has a full conviction what to see. Conviction that Lord knows everything. What is there to ask? Whatever good happens or bad happens, it is His own blessing. That is called as it's a jnani. And that is it's the highest, Sri Krishna says, that is the highest type of the devotees. And it's a devotion also, it's in among the devotees, it further says there are 3 categories of the devotees. One is called as Uttama Bhakta, second is called as Madhyama Bhakta, third is called as Adhama Bhakta. Uttama Bhakta is the one, it's he or she fully knows that worships only one God. So all religion conveys the same thing. There is only one God. Definition of God is omnipotent. One who is omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent can be only one. There cannot be two. Fully convinced that he is Uttama Bhakta. Always surrender to the highest. Wherever, if I go to the temple, there may be many deities, but still, I am worshipping the Supreme through this one, through deity. It's Eka Bhakti Vishishyate. Only one focus. Always worship the Supreme, and whatever is the mode of the object, he always contemplates on the Supreme. And Madhyama Bhakta thinks that there are many gods, that all doesn't matter whom you worship, all are equal. That one who thinks all are equal, they are called as Madhyama Bhakta. It is called as it's Shastras, they say it's a Trividyas. They think everyone is same, it doesn't matter whom you worship. And Adhama Bhakta, lowest type of the devotee, is the one who worships ghosts, it's Yakshas, Rakshasas, that they are the lowest type of the devotees. And the highest type of the devotees, Sri Krishna says, why we have to have it's a focus of contemplation on the only one, because if you worship, think deities are different. Everyone is same. I worship, when the place of worship, I worship Ganesha, I worship Shiva, Navagraha, Subramanya, all are same, doesn't matter. It says, Sri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita says, whatever you worship, you get result accordingly. That whoever you worship, you reach them. But who worships me, come to me. Only Sri Krishna says, only He can give the liberation. Liberation can be given by the only one ultimate. Others one is a path of going and coming. It's a path of, they give some result, you get satisfied, quick result, and again with result, it has a limited. It's a utility. It is not infinite phala. Limited phala. After exhausting, you have to come back. And after, it says, after devotee, after many lives, they get exhausted. I'm tired of this going and coming. I want only you. One who surrenders that one, that is the best of the devotees. We'll cover that shloka. It's very inspirational. It's a Tesham Jnani Nitya Yukta Eka Bhaktir Vishishyate Priyo hi Jnanino Tyartha Aham Sachamama Priyaha. Tesham Jnani Nitya Yukta, best of the Jnani, Eka Bhakti Vishishyate. Only one focus. Whatever is the mode of the object, only one focus. Worshipping the Supreme Being. That is the highest. That type of devotee is very close to me. I am very close to that devotee. It's a love is mutual. It's not a one-way traffic. And in the scripture it says, in Sri Sukta it says, it's not enough I worship you. You also should. But it's a think of me that this traffic should be two-way traffic. It's not only I am thinking, you also should think of me. Then only that Shri Krishna says, one who does this one, he is close to me, I am close to that person. And it's a further we antavattu palam tesham tad bhavatya alpachetasam devan devayajo yanti madbhakta yanti mamapi. It's a Sanskrit, when you split it, it's very easy to understand. Antavattu, anta means limited. Antavattu palam. Palam, it's a result. Anta means not ananta, anta, limited. Antavattu palam tesham. Your result, outcome will be limited. Antavattu palam tesham tad bhavatya alpachetasam. It's a people with limited intellect, they go for only that limited, it's a fruit. Devan devayajo yanti. Those people, they worship different deities, thinking that is this a quick result, they go to them. But my devotees come to me. It's when they had enough, I want only you. I'm tired of this coming and going. That when the devotees come, surrenders that one, they come to me. That it's a antavattu, repeat again, antavattu palam tesham bhavatvalpa medasam devan devayajo yanti madbhakta yanti mamapi. And how to do that one, how to get the devotion, that yes, I am convinced that I want to do that devotion. Devotion won't come easily. How to develop that devotion? And in Bhagavatam, Prahlada, he was a small child, 7 years old, and he was teaching that one to other demon kids, that how to develop it's a Prahlada. Narada taught this one to Prahlada, and in Bhagavatam, and Prahlada taught this one to his co-friends, how to develop the devotion. It's repeat after me. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dhasyam Sakyam Atmanivedanam. Atmanivedanam. It's a Navadividi Bhakti. It's a 9 ways of how to strengthen your Bhakti, how to strengthen your conviction. It's a 9 ways. It's Navavidi Bhakti. It talks about in Bhagavatam. It's a Shravanam. You got to hear more and more. Hear from the people who experience this one. It's a Shravanam. And whatever you hear, you try to express. Talk it to others. Hear good things, Shravanam and Kirtanam. After that Kirtanam, Vishnu means all pervasive one, the supreme being. Vishnu, meaning of that one who pervades everywhere. Hear about that person more and more and talk about that one. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu. And Smaranam, then try to remember that one. Smaranam, one is ear, mouth, and Smaranam. And Pada Sevanam, that when the knower of this one comes, serve them, Pada Sevanam. And to know more about that, Pada Sevanam. Vandanam, Archanam, it's do more and more. Every day have a ritual, spend some time, think of him. Archanam, Vandanam, bow down to him and serve him, that wherever the opportunity is there, it's an opportunity to serve, to invoke him. It's whatever service you are doing, to serve the Supreme, you are doing the service. Do the service. Dhasyam Atmani Nivedanam. Offer yourself to that person, and that bhakti gets deeper and deeper. This is Navavidhi Bhakti. It's mentioned taught by Narada, and it's Prahlada. Prahlada taught to his friends, and it is documented in the Bhagavatam and by Sri Vedavyasa. And devotee, what is the mark of this devotee? It's only that is practice. One is the theory part, one is the practice part. How the practice should be. It's in Bhagavad Gita 12th chapter, it talks about, repeat after me, Adveshta Sarvabhutanam Maitra Karuna Evacha Nirmamo Nirahankara Samadukka Sukakshami. Adveshta, that devotee, that practice part. One is the theory part, the practice part. That devotee never hates anyone. It's a no grudge against anyone. It's a love, Adveshta Sarvabhutanam. Always friendly with that devotee, friendly with everyone. No hatred against anyone. Not taking any grudge against anyone. Adveshta Sarvabhutanam Maitra Karuna, very compassionate. Karuna Evacha. Nirmamo Nirahankara. No claiming that this is mine. No ego. Nirahankara. Samadukka. And when the things go as planned and not goes as planned, still doesn't lose the balance, maintains the composure. And kshami, that one forgives whatever the mistake others does, easily forgives others. That type of quality, that's the practice part. It's the devotion. It's not just doing the ritual part. It has to come into practice. It's a devotee. Sets a exemplary in the day-to-day work, also in the outside. When he or she goes out, it's a unique personality. That quality should come out. These qualities, reflecting on these qualities, gives us a benchmark. Whenever we are in what we are and what it says, it helps us to elevate ourselves. And we'll continue deeper into this one in the last class. Lie down on your back.